Hi, I'm Katy Thoma, President and CEO of the Chico Chamber, and today I am here with Jolene Francis, who is a Director of Advancement and Communication at Enloe Medical Center. And she also is the Chair of the Board for the Chico Chamber. And I've invited Jolene here today to speak about leadership through a pandemic. And Jolene and I speak frequently because she's my direct boss. Through the pandemic, and we're up close and personal. We email, we speak often, we text, and there's so much going on in her world at Enloe Medical Center, and as we all know, with the chamber as well, as we pivoted. So I've invited Jolene here today to share with us just maybe some tools or ways that she has coped through the pandemic as a leader. So Jolene, thanks for coming today. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Katy. And may I say that nobody is Katy's boss. Katy is the boss. So I am just one of Katy's coaches and board members.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been great. So one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you today is that you have a really unique view. And not only do you have a view of Chico, but really the region, because we know that what happens in Chico really does affect all of Butte County, Glenn County, and even Tehama and Plumas County, and maybe even a little bit of Colusa County as well. So you really do have a unique view. So I just kind of wanted to get your take on how you think things are going as we're maneuvering through the pandemic. It's appears to be the new normal. I know that's an overused term, but feels like it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, things are tough out there. I mean, it's without a doubt, things are very tough. And all of us here at Enloe Medical Center are really, really grateful for the sacrifices that our community is making to try to keep everyone safe. We know how hard it is for people who've lost their jobs, or maybe they have to work from home and they prefer not to, or they're trying to homeschool their kids and they've never done this before. I mean, there are sacrifices across the board being made by everyone in our community to try and keep us safe. It's just a really tough time for everyone. I particularly feel bad for business owners, small business owners who are really struggling with changing rules every day, trying to figure out how they serve their customers or their constituents and make a living. And it's really tough. So I think it's just a weird, hard time. And I really don't want to believe this is a new normal. I think that this is a temporary situation, and we'll get through it. It's going to be painful. We just all have to dig deep and find a way to continue to get through it. And if we all do our part, and as much as we all hate to say it, we've got to wear a mask. I mean, we just have to do that in order to keep each other safe, get our numbers back down so we can get things moving again. But it's a very unique and challenging time. During the beginning of the pandemic, people were contacting us all the time, telling us how much they appreciated the work we were doing. And to be perfectly honest, it wasn't that busy here. We didn't have that many COVID cases early on. And we had pulled back significantly on our non-emergent surgeries and procedures. And so things were quiet here, almost eerily quiet. Had a significant effect on our financial situation that we're working on getting, turned around at this point. But now, it does seem a little different, and we're seeing not only here at Enloe, but across the community, I'm seeing people beginning to fray around the edges a little bit. Emotionally, people are just tired of this, and I wish I had an answer for them. I don't. I think it's just we have to have faith that this will end. At some point, this will end, and we can get back to business as usual.
Well, one of the things that you've really helped me in my leadership at the chamber is there are days that I can't see the forest for the trees, and we get in so deep, and I lose my humor, and I feel hopeless, and then I'll reach out to you. And one of the things I have to admire about you is, first of all, you always look great, and I've given you a hard time that you don't have dark circles. So I don't know whether you have you getting rest or you have really fat
concealer. It's great concealer. Yeah. Call me later. I'll give you the brand.
Exactly. But just like this, you've kept your humor, and you have you will reframe things for me, and through your humor, which is such a relief, because sometimes I feel like all of a sudden your shoulders are up around your ears, and then all of a sudden, laughing is such good medicine. And it is tough. And I think as we speak to business owners, it's really serious out there. And I talked to one yesterday, and it's just like it's pivot after pivot after pivot, and trying to stay the course. And we miss our friends, we miss our families. So I just want to tell you, I appreciate your humor and giving me a reality check. One of the things, we've worked a lot, and what I've told my colleagues here in the office, when the days are getting longer and we're working a lot, it's like, you know what, we're not working on a vaccine, so we should probably go home.
Yeah, that's true. I think keeping your sense of humor it's incredibly important, just to not be so hard on ourselves and not be so hard on each other. When times get tense, it's normal. We all start to wear our shoulders as earrings, and it gets really hard. But I work with a great team of creative people here in the foundation, and with our marketing communications team and community outreach, and even our print services folks they're just a really fun group of people. And Enloe's leadership, I know that you know some of them, Mike Wiltermuth and Connie Rowe and Carol Linscheid and all of them. They're strong, supportive people, and they know how to appreciate each other. And that really helps get everybody through the day. It really doesn't hurt that I'm married to the funniest man on the planet. He knows exactly how to make me laugh and remind myself not to take myself so seriously. It's all going to be all right. But if you don't know him, and I know that you do, he's an incredibly funny guy. So just remembering to laugh once in a while, and remembering to unplug. Just sometimes you've got to just walk away from it. You have to, in order to maintain your sanity. And for me, that means I'm going to stop by my son and daughter-in-law's house on my way home from work and snuggle my grandbaby for a couple of minutes. My blood pressure comes right down where it should be. I feel so much better. I mean, you just got to find that little moment of joy every day that's going to get you through till the next day.
Yeah, and I have to talk about your husband. So at our last board meeting, we had some technical difficulty, and he's president of Chico Rotary this year. And we have this thing called Redmond's Law, where if something's going to go wrong technologically, we call it Redmond's Law. So I was so upset, and I thought my head was going to blow off because it wasn't working. And he typed in the comments Redmond's Law, and I went, "You're right. I can't do anything about it. I'm going to sit back. We're going to relax. I'm going to enjoy the meeting."
That's right.
But it was just like, thank you. I mean, just that little humor,
Yeah, and just giving each other a little grace once in a while, and throwing a little humor and a little joy out there. Just, it can't hurt, right? It can't hurt.
Yeah, and one of the things too, I think along when you talk about the joy, also that comes along with that is gratitude.
Yeah.
And I think that I've been trying to work on being grateful for what I have and not what I don't get to do or go or whatever. And so I think that what you say about the joy and stopping at your son and daughter-in-laws and just squeezing that baby for a few minutes, it's like, okay, this is reality right here, So
what really lifts me up on a daily basis is being able to interact with donors who support the work of the hospital through their philanthropic gifts. And there is nothing more uplifting than receiving a note of thanks from a former patient, or a recognition of a caregiver who did something spectacular, even though it's what happens here every day. And people are grateful. And that's kind of what my job partially is providing people with an opportunity to express their gratitude for the care they've received. And so imagine how much joy is spread every day with that. I mean, every time the mail arrives, we get to read notes from donors who are grateful for what happened here. you can't help but be uplifted by that. You really can't.
It's humbling work. I mean,
It is very humbling work.
yeah. And, we've done all these videos, and we've really reached out to experts in the community, and really having them share their experiences and their coping through COVID, and, and what we hear from people. I think that when you can feel the pain of another, because of COVID, it's really easy to become isolated. And I think you think you're the only one, that's experiencing this. And I think that that's why it is so important that somehow Zoom is awkward. I think we're all getting a lot better at it, but I still think it's a great opportunity to connect with people. But one of the things I wanted to ask you about too is, as you have weathered through this, Enloe started in January with ransomware, and then you went right into COVID. But along the way, you were supposed to teach this summer, right?
I was, right. I belong to an organization that's called the Association for Healthcare Philanthropy. It's an international organization, 4,500 members, representing 2,200 hospitals across the world. And every year at the University of Wisconsin, there is an institute that's put on by the association, and fundraisers from all across the country and Canada come to learn on site for a week of really intensive learning. And I've attended 6 times myself in different tracks. Wonderful program. You meet lifelong mentors and friends and associates that you can collaborate with, even though they may be across the country for the rest of your career. And I was asked to join faculty this year. It would have been my first time back there. And COVID, we always say that, well, and then COVID, right? So no institute on site. It was disappointing, especially since I spent most of the spring creating my curriculum. I had it all ready to go, but I'll go back next year. And
you're all ready.
It'll be just as good. And the track that I get to teach in, I think, is the most fun. It's the fundamentals track. So it's those folks who are new to fundraising. They generally tend to be a little bit younger, or they're shifting careers midlife. And that's the track where we get to bring them in, and we jokingly say, have them drink the Kool-Aid and get their tattoo, that now they are philanthropists, now they are fundraisers. And it really is an exciting and fun time. I've so enjoyed that program over the last 6 years. Was looking forward to it, but I'll go back next year.
Well, that's great. And one of the reasons why I bring that up is I know that through the ransomware, through COVID, that you did manage to get your curriculum ready to go, because we all kept thinking that this was going to be a temporary thing. I just have to give you kudos for keeping on.
Well, I think we all have to continue to be lifelong learners, because as I tell people all the time, I am a director here, but I work in healthcare, which to me means I will never be the smartest person in the room. I mean, I work with physicians and people with incredible knowledge. If I don't continue to improve my skills and continue with that lifelong learning, I'll fall behind quickly. So, I mean, it's a commitment that I make to myself. It's absolutely encouraged by my husband. So we just like to continue learning, and it never hurts.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Who wants to be we don't want to get stuck in the old ways.
No, we don't.
I've been doing it this way, and I know best. Yeah, no, we don't. So I'm curious, from your vantage point, it's just a very general question, but what do you see right now that's encouraging you?
I think what's encouraging is the way people are supporting each other. I think people are getting very in tune to those who might be in crisis emotionally, those who are beginning to fray around the edges, if you will, and people are really jumping in to try to assist. I hear, I don't have school-age kids at home anymore, but I hear about folks who do, creating learning pods where they're hiring a tutor or an instructor, and they're bringing the kids together in small groups to learn as a workaround. There are just all kinds of incredibly innovative things happening in the community as people try to figure out how to get us all through this. And I think people want to work together, and so I'm encouraged by that. I'm encouraged by the business owners too, who are being really creative and innovative and trying to make sure that they keep their businesses on track and their employees employed.
Yeah, I think it's amazing the ingenuity and creativity we have in Chico.
Yes.
It's just, and we have a front row seat. I mean, it's just been that encourages me. So tell me what are you concerned about at this point?
I'm concerned about the economy overall. I'm concerned about the economy. I am concerned about some of the decisions that have been made by city leaders that have definitely affected the quality of life here locally, and people's reaction to that, whether it's blown out of proportion or not. It is the perception that people are experiencing, and maybe it's heightened because of COVID, but there's less tolerance for those types of things right now. So that concerns me a little bit. There are things on the national level that concern us, but realistically, what are we going to do about that except vote in November? That's really the only thing you can do. But I'm concerned about our economy. I'm concerned about city finances. I'm concerned that our roads are in such disrepair and there's no funding to improve them. What's going to happen with those things? And I keep waiting for someone in leadership position to have an answer, and there aren't any forthcoming yet. Maybe they're working on those, but so I'll hold out hope that there will be answers coming. But those are the things that concern me.
Yeah, as well as for the chamber. And those are things that, we watch for and monitor and look to and leadership. So, well, I just want to thank you for coming today. And I heard loud and clear that we need to wear a mask.
Yes, please. Please wear your mask. It really is important. I know a lot of people really rebel against those. I personally have a hard time with them. I feel very claustrophobic wearing them, but it's my duty to do that. And when we see the numbers going up with the new cases, now I will say those cases are not necessarily equating to an increase in hospitalizations, but because it's a younger population that's got the virus now, the only way to stop it is wear the mask, stay away from each other for a few weeks, and you'd be surprised what can happen. Why don't we just all try it? Just try it. What can it hurt?
You know what? Let's do it, because you know what? Thanksgiving's coming, and wouldn't it be nice to have some people around the table?
Well, I'm not cooking a 22-pound bird for Mark and I. I'm just not doing it. So.
Exactly. Well, Jolene, thanks for taking the time today, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Have a great day. Thanks, Katy.
Take care.